Imagine stepping onto the stage of human psychology, where words are your tools and trust is your currency. Social engineering is the art of influence, where cyber actors become digital actors, using charm, persuasion, and cunning to manipulate people into revealing confidential information or taking actions they normally wouldn't. It's a performance in the theater of trust and deception. A student must understand some fundamental concepts in social engineering to effectively assess and improve an organization's security posture. Some of these key concepts include trust and manipulation, which is social engineering that relies on exploiting human trust, or pretexting, creating a fabricated scenario or pretext to obtain information or actions from a target. This could involve posing as a colleague, customer, or authority figure. Phishing, one of the most important and most popular types. Sending deceptive emails, messages, or websites that mimic trusted entities, trick recipients into revealing sensitive information or taking harmful actions. Baiting, offering something enticing, such as a free download or prize, to lure individuals into a trap that compromises their security. Tailgating, gaining unauthorized access to a secured area by following someone with legitimate access or asking for assistance to enter. Finally, elicitation, extracting information from individuals through casual conversations, often without their awareness that sensitive data is being revealed. Now we will look at one of the most important concepts in social engineering, and that is phishing. So picture yourself on a digital phishing expedition where the bait isn't worms but cunningly crafted emails and websites. Phishing is the art of casting these baited hooks into the vast sea of the internet, hoping to trick unsuspecting victims into sharing their sensitive information like passwords and credit card numbers. It's a virtual con game where the fisher wears many masks, but the goal remains the same, revealing your personal data. Now we will look at a practical example of how we can do a phishing assessment with the help of the GoFish framework. It's gonna be really interesting, so sit tight. Before we dive into the practical demonstration, a little info about the GoFish framework. GoFish is like a digital phishing pole for security professionals. It's an open source phishing framework that enables you to create and execute phishing campaigns for the purpose of assessing and improving your organization's security. With GoFish, you can emulate real world phishing attacks, measure their effectiveness, and educate your team about the importance of cyber awareness and vigilance. So, this is a comprehensive video of GoFish framework installation and how to create phishing campaigns for phishing assessments during a penetration test. Okay, first of all, what is GoFish? It is an open source phishing framework, and by framework, it means that it is a comprehensive tool in which you can set up phishing campaigns for a whole organization or multiple organizations. So it is a very advanced tool, and this will just be a brief overview, but we will cover almost all the things aspects, but just briefly because this is a big tool. It requires a complete course of its own, just uh, which explains how to utilize this tool to its utmost potential. But we will just cover it from glance. But we will cover almost all the fundamental things. So first of all, we need to install it. We press download. It will take us to the GoFish GitHub page from where we can install it. And there are also some guides that are available that we can use to set this tool up. So what we can do is to use this Linux file. So we'll download it. Stop. Need to transfer it from some folder of our liking. I will name it Goldfish. Paste it there, and then we can extract it. So this is the file. We can go to the Goldfish page and see how we can install it. So for the installation, they're saying that it is very simple. We just need to extract it and run the binary. We'll do just that. This is the Goldfish binary that we need to run. So we will Goldfish, go to Goldfish, how extracted. Okay, we have downloaded the OS X release. Probably we can go here again. Download again. Yes, we actually downloaded the wrong installation that was for Mac. So now we are downloading the installation for the Linux. This is something we need to be sure about. Okay, it is downloaded. Now we the other directory, we delete these, paste our Linux installation, extract it. Okay, now we have, yes, now we have the Linux installation. When go into it and we try to run, so we give it execution permissions, Gofish binary, and then we run it. And there are some things we will have to change later in the configuration for our landing page and templates, which we will discuss in detail a little bit later in the video. But now we have our GoFish installation hosted, so it is running, and we can access our GoFish page at port 3333. So local, it is running on our local host, local host 333. Okay, it is converting it. Yes, we use HTTPS because we don't have a certificate, we'll just accept and continue. So now we have our installation ready, but this is just the beginning. The hard part is after that, and we should have our username and password given to us. So here is the username and password we need to log in. So this is admin and this is the password. So this is gibberish. So and one time, so we it is recommended that we change it after we log in. So username is admin and this is the password. So we type admin and copy paste the password and we should be able to sign in. And now we will change it. So I will just, because this is just a demo, I will set it up to admin one two. Is it is easy to remember, but it is not recommended in when you are actually doing a test or actually setting up on in a production environment. You need to have strong passwords. This is just for demo purposes. Okay, we need to have it 8. letter at least. So admin 123, and we save it. So we are logged in, and now we can discuss these functions. So we have the dashboard. When we create a campaign and it is scheduled or running live, we can actually see the campaigns here. This is the most crucial portion. This is where we set up our campaigns, phishing campaigns. We can set up multiple campaigns. We can set up live or scheduled campaigns. So we'll go into this into detail. Users and group, we can set up users or groups to attack, to phish. So we can add a lot of groups and users, and then depending on what group we want to attack, or multiple groups or multiple users, we can choose them and just attack, just set up a phishing assessment for them. Email templates. So when we're going to send a phishing email to them, uh, of course, they'll see an email which will urge them to uh, click on something, click on some malicious link we want them to click on, and it needs to be persuasive or manipulative, or anything that can manipulate them to click on the link we want. So that's where this part comes, email templates, and this is very important. We need to have a good email template. This is the starting point for our attack. So this is the first thing that the victim will see. So it needs to be persuasive, it needs to manipulate them, and we will go into detail about this. And landing page, basically when uh, the person will click the link, landing page is the second thing the user is going to see, and that is also going to be a something that uh, would be created by us, and this is where we get the credentials. So for example, we send them an email from an account which shows itself to be from LinkedIn, for example, and this is what our demonstration gonna be like. And they click a link, and then they're onto the LinkedIn page, but that would be the fake LinkedIn page, which would be our landing page. And then they will give us their credential. It will be those will be saved, and then we will redirect them to the original LinkedIn profile. So the user won't know that they have just provided us their credentials. Because this is a local environment, we will set up it on our home server, and it will be accessible from our home server, our lab. But in production environments, when you are actually doing a penetration test, your landing page should be accessible on the internet. So it should have a public IP or domain, public IP and domain. So that way, the user, when you send someone a phishing link, they need to be able to connect to the landing page. Sending profiles, this is very important. This is where we set up our email server, which will send the phishing email. And then there are other settings which we can set up, but we won't. Because this is a brief interview, we'll just cover the basics. So we set up a new campaign. We call it campaign one, and we need to give it an email template. We need to give it a landing page, the URL of the landing page where it will go, and just like I uh, discussed before, that it should be reachable by the targets. So this is going to be the URL of the landing page, and then the sending profile we're going to set, and we're going to check it whether it works or not, because most of the companies actually don't support, don't provide their, don't allow their services to be used for phishing, even if it's legal. Uh, so most of the time you have to set up your own email server, but for this we're going to use Outlook, and I've tested it before. So Outlook works for phishing emails, but yes, there is a chance they're going to block it after you send some emails. But because this is a test environment, we're going to use Outlook. And then the groups, we can define groups to which we want to send the campaign. So before launching campaign, we need to set up an email template landing page. We need to give it the URL and the sending profile. Now first we will go to the sending profile and set up our email. So we can set up a name for it. I'm using this name. This will be our fake LinkedIn employee. When I use SMTP protocol, which is used to send email. And this is very important. So this is our email. We're gonna give it the first name, last name. That is optional. We need to, but we need to give it our email that we're gonna use for phishing, which we have set up on Outlook. The email we have, this is the email. So we're gonna use this email. This is a test email created just for this purpose. Now we're gonna give it the settings. Good thing about Outlook is that the set SMTP settings are readily available. We can copy them. So their SMTP port is 587 and this is the server. It is 587. Now we're gonna use the email and password. We can also add custom headers, but this is a little bit advanced thing and we will not go into detail. And now we'll try sending the test email. So just to see that whether it works or not. This is a fake email which is which is gonna act as our recipient. So for example, this is a person from a company. This is the victim you wanna attack, and you want to send. You're doing a phishing assessment in an ethical manner, legally with permission and authorization. So this is one of the victims you want to target, and this is a potential victim for your attack because you have done your research within the passive reconnaissance phase, and from that information you realize that this target can be phished, and you can get them to click on the malicious link of your choice, and you can get the credentials for to further your attack. So in this test case, this is our victim. So we're gonna use them for test. I will call I will use a test name, something like that. I will give it. I will use the email, and for example, that is a CFO, Chief Financial Officer. This is just for the demonstration, and they should receive a fake email. In a in an actual case, you're not gonna send the test email to your victim. You're gonna test it to send it to your own email because you're testing it. But after that, when we're gonna set up the campaign with with a customized email template landing page, then we're gonna send the actual email. If this is successful, then it means that our email server is set up right. Otherwise, we'll have to do some changes. So there was an issue with our settings. This is something because we're using Microsoft, and there's some things that they change from time to time. So when we were trying our test email, it was not working because uh, we were using the wrong server. We were using smtpoutlook.com, but to send emails from Outlook, now we gotta use smtp.office365.com, and the port is the same. So basically these settings. And now we can actually send our test email. And it takes some time, but it is takes some time, but now it is gonna send the email. So as you can see, it took some time, but the email is sent, and now we have the email. And this was the one I tested before. This one, and this is the email. So as you can see, the test email is working. Email letting you know that your Profish configuration was successful, and this was the email we used. Now we can go further. We will save this information. Now we'll go to the email template and we'll set up a template. Can call it template form. And this is very important. This is the name uh, that is actually going to be shown to the victim. So we can make it credible. For example, if you're going to use a LinkedIn email template, we can use a name that is in that aligns with that. So some guy approaching a victim from LinkedIn, someone they know. That depends on the scenario, the pen testing scenario for the person who are phishing. And if, for example, if it is a normal guy, you can use some Microsoft employee name, and that way you can receive the victim. So in this case, we're gonna use a predefined template. So this is available on GitHub, phishing template for GoFish, and this is an email template which we're gonna use. We'll copy it and paste it here in the HTML because it is HTML. And we can use name, for example. So we have this John Doe at the rate of LinkedIn.com. This is just for example, because this is a test scenario, but this is where you will use a fake name and email to receive your victim. You can have, for example, you can use a scenario in which you want to um, call a sense of urgency for our victim so that they may click the given links in the email and they give us their credentials. Can save it. Just saved here. Then we go to the landing page, and now we create a landing page from where we can get the credentials. This one, or we can even go to LinkedIn.com, for example, wanna get them to give us their LinkedIn credential. We have this page. We can actually copy and put page source, copy this and paste it here. And we can check this, and this way we can actually when they log in on our fake landing page, which will be a lookalike of this, we will have their email and password. Because this is a lab, it will only work on the home network. But if this was a real assessment and we had our home domain with a public IP address, we could capture password or credentials from anywhere. And then we can redirect them to the actual LinkedIn website. And most of the victims won't even realize that they, they gave us their credentials and they have been phished. So this is where the email template is done. Now we define a user. We can call it quick point. And because we can import a CSV file which has a list of emails, so we can bulk import users, or we can add one user or multiple users by name one by one. In this case, we have a fake guy. Again, we will use the same email. Skyworks and Finance. We tag it, and we have the information ready. We can add more users. Uh, any user we add in this group, when we select this group in our campaign, all of them will get a phishing link. So for now, we just wanna fish this one. So we add save changes. So now everything is done, and now we can make a campaign. So as you can see, it has already automatically selected. If you had multiple templates, you would choose from here. If you had multiple landing pages, we would choose. But it has already selected the top ones. So this was the email template we added. This is the landing page. We got campaign. Done. This is the this is our listener. Because this is a local network, I will use the IP of my machine, which is this one. And now we will set the campaign to launch on this date, but the time will be 90. And this is the email profile we set up, and now we'll set the group. So all of the things that we added are now selected. The group is selected, our victim, email profile, which is used to send email. We can again test us. Uh, you can again send a test email to check here. and our landing page and template. And you need to always be careful full about the test email, because if you're using a service like Outlook or any other services, they can block your phishing account very fast, your email account. So you have to be careful on that. But in actual pen testing scenario, you will have your own email server, so that won't be a problem. Campaign is now scheduled. So now, as we can see on our dashboard, we have this information. When it will be 9:19, it will send the email. If the user opens the email, so we'll have uh, the count will increase to number one here. And if they click a link here, then this will become one. If this even submit their data, then this will uh, go to one from zero. And if they report it, then it will add to this. So this is a good uh, way to get all the information about your victim. And because most of the time you are, uh, in, and I would recommend like in 99% of cases, this is done ethically with permission within the companies, within the organizations. So this information is further used to gauge how much security awareness your employees have, the people in the company have, and then you can train them accordingly. So as you can see, the status is queued. Campaign is created and it is scheduled for 1919. So we will wait for that. And this is our victim. And of course, because this is a demonstration, so we're going to act as the victim and we will see how the email looks like. We should now receive the phishing email anytime now. Now we will just wait. It takes a little time to send the email. Although the uh, campaign has started at 1919, but we have yet to send the. You can see that the campaign is in progress. But just like with our test email, it took some time, and that's a problem with using public SMTP servers, email servers to send the email. We can just wait now in this case. I will pause the video until the email is sent, and then we will continue. We had a problem in our when we sent the message, probably because we cannot use another email. We can just use the name, but we'll have to use the actual email. So we go to our email template and we change this. We can just change the name, but we cannot use another email. That is something we need to keep in mind. Should like complete the campaign, make another campaign. Give it 9:25. Select the group and launch it. It should work right now. Time is up and it should work. So this is sometimes it is trial and error because with public IP addresses, you have to be careful with public SMTP servers because we don't know uh, their policies, how they actually work. So sometimes there are issues with them. But that was a good example of how you can troubleshoot the error. If you get an error, you can always open this timeline and you can see what kind of error you got. And based on your experience or knowledge, you can resolve it in progress. And uh, this time it should work. So our email is now sent, and this is how it will look like. Again, we are using a test case here, but we could use a fake email server with uh, domain which could look like similar to LinkedIn, for example, link.in, something like that, and a name. But this is what will get the victim to fake. So it is just a template, but we can also improve that based on our victim to increase the chances. So now, if the victim clicks on any of the link, it will open up fake link. So as you can see, this is our machine IP address, and this is local because we are on the local network. But in an actual scenario, this would be a domain, our fake domain. For example, link.in or linked.i.n.com, something like that, a fake domain, and we can get there. But a normal user will not even suspect this. And if it's a non-IT person, they won't even look at this. They won't even know what this is. But again, based on the victim, we need to. So in an actual scenario, we need to make this clear to. So for example, the user writes to email here, John something Indian laptop gmail.com, and their password is something like password 12344. Then they press sign in, and now they're redirected to the actual LinkedIn page. So they might just suspect that, oh, probably the page got refreshed and I need to enter that again. And when they enter their information now, they will sign in to the actual LinkedIn. But here, as we can see, our email was sent and the link was clicked, and we also have the PC and browser information, and we also have the information that the data is entered. And as you can see here, we got the password, we got the credential email. So this is how we can fish somebody. And as you can see, all of these are now done. So this is the first stage, the second stage, the third and fourth, the most dangerous stage. And the suspect did not report it. And we can also now export it, the results, to a CSV file and look at that later. And this can also come in handy for making a report on this. So this was all for phishing. This is how you can use GoFish to fish somebody, uh, of course, legally and ethically in an authorized fashion uh, within an organization, or if you're hired by an organization. And there are other types of social engineering, but phishing is almost one of the most important, and it preys on the lack of security awareness of the employees and people. Right? So that's why it is one of the most effective penetration testing techniques ever. That was all for phishing. In this section, we had a brief look at some social engineering techniques and had a somewhat deeper look at one of its most popular types, that is phishing. We had a practical demonstration of setting up phishing attacks with the help of the GoFish framework, and we discussed its various benefits for phishing assessments. So that was all for social engineering, particularly phishing. See you in the next video. Happy hacking.